My name is Guy Courtin, and my title is Vice President of Industry Solutions for Fashion and Retail at GT Nexus. You know, from the technology standpoint, retailers are faced with the struggle that many folks in the supply chain have, right? Which is this shift from a sort of a linear supply chain to a network supply chain. And what does that entail, right? What does that mean from the technology? It's no longer doing your planning within the four walls of your ERP system or your planning engines. It's really taking a networked approach view of what is their business is. Connecting the dots is becoming a challenge because, you know, legacy-wise, a lot of our systems and a lot of technology is built out in. What I mean by that is it's looking inside the four walls of your enterprise. And it's doing great things around planning for finances or HR or inventory, things like that. But within the four walls of your enterprise or within a linear, almost owned supply chain, right? Like Ford back in the days where they would own everything from the steel mills to the rubber trees to the factory to the trucking and all that. That is long gone. So retailers really have to be able to, from a system standpoint, a technology standpoint, understand how to unlock all this data and information that sits outside of their four walls. Because they've got suppliers, they've got customers. So on both ends, they've got data points and things that are outside of their four walls. How do they implement or how do they have technologies, and then how they have the business processes that take advantage of that by pulling in the data, doing analysis, but then having the wherewithal, if you will, to do something about it. It's one thing to get the data, it's one thing to get the insights or the visibility. It's a whole other thing to start taking actions on it and understanding what you can and can't do. So then from a technology standpoint, it's really changing this mentality to a networked effect, a networked supply chain, a networked ecosystem. And what are the systems in place, or what are the systems you need to put in place to pull that information in? And then what are the systems in place that can take advantage of it? And then thirdly, what are the sort of the business processes that come out of it that you can start adapting to change, take advantage of the opportunity that's out there for you? GT Nexus has the ability or the value of having this platform, networked visibility and system in place already. Infor comes with, you know, a tremendous amount of industry insights across a whole host of industries and solutions that go with it. So I think if you look at the two together, what's very exciting is, I don't, you know, sort of the soup to nuts opportunity to have access to the network, all the data that comes from it, the insights, the execution layer that comes from it, and then tying it into some of the more, I guess I would call sort of headline grabbing things today around, you know, front end things for consumers and things like that. But it allows you to be able to, you know, the things you're trying to do up front with the customers, you're able to actually do it with your inventory. You're actually able to fulfill those orders. Because it's one thing to be able to say, hey, I have a great front end, a great website, a great app on my phone. It's really cool. It gives you all kinds of functionality and all that. But if I can't get you the product where you want it, when you want it for the right price, all those bells and whistles are exactly that, bells and whistles, right? You have to marry the front and the back end or else it falls apart. And I think that's the power of this, is where we have really all the components necessary to provide that truly networked vision, that truly networked ability to address customers' needs at the front end, which we all know. Customer needs, customer demands is, in a way, putting it kindly, in a current state of chaos and will only continue to be that way, right? There's no sort of end state it's going to get to where, all right, everything's cool now we can build off this. No, we as consumers, unfortunately, we're the biggest problem because we are expecting more and more of our brands and our retailers, and it's up to them to keep up with it. And the only way they can really do that is, in a way, tapping into a lot of things that we're doing with you know, between GT Nexus and Infor, which is creating this really powerful networked visibility of supply chain and all the things that go around it for retailers.